The key to everything is, do I have the will to eat the consequences of whatever it is I choose to do? Have I assessed the prerequisites? Do I have the right prerequisites to do whatever I choose to do? Have you consulted with your countenance, your face that presents you in a social way, in interaction with others? The face aesthetics, the balance of the face, moon face, whatever. This is your face personality, but it doesn't end there. There's a body personality, personality being the tool with which you apply the rhetoric, the laws of persuasion, or Stendhalian laws of persuasion, or techniques to persuade. You can't do anything if you can't persuade. Tony Robbins has it right. If you can't establish a rapport, you don't know how to do it. Maybe it's your height. I'm 5'3.5". Maybe it's your moon face, your gross features. No neck, the whole body aesthetics. I have a 46-inch gut. I'm only 5'3.5". He's got to take that into account. He's got to compensate for it with the clothes, the right collar, the right man's hat that fits the head properly, to try to break down or loosen up the tightness of the features, the countenance. Then he's got to be willing to understand the consequences of every behavior he decides to perpetrate in the arena of confrontation and encounter out there in the environment, to attempt to present yourself in a public way. And then everything happens from that foundation. That foundation taken together, that is your human reality in action. The only thing we have power over, or I should say I have power over, is how I set up that human reality, the Zion, in action. That means, what kind of physical shape am I in? Given my limitations, do I know my limitations and vulnerabilities? Have I listened to what my opponents say and take it very seriously and make it part of a well thought out, reasoned out calculation and set my template realistically and practically? Do I know where I'm weak, where I'm vulnerable? Am I able to ask myself the right probative questions in action? Can I assess myself in the situation and experience myself, listen to myself dynamically in action? What I'm saying, how I'm saying it, the tone of the voice. Can I feel my presence in a social action situation? What I'm doing, what I'm saying, how I'm looking, how my posture is, my physical presentation. Can I gain complete and total control over my state at will? The state being the physical posture, the physical presentation, the voice print, the voice speech tempo, the proximus, the distance control. And all of that taken together is your capacity to ask for what you want. You know, I've heard individuals admonish and say, you can't get anything unless you can ask for it. You got to first ask for it. This is a very oversimplistic, dangerous assertion. It sounds profound. It's not saying anything. There's so many things that have to be taken into consideration, evaluated, critiqued, put in a prism, isolated for assessment and probatives. It's a continuous asking of better and better informed questions, a continuous better and better self-observation and assessment in action. And the question to who am I, what are you, someone asks, who are you? This is a very ignorant question, because you are who you are in dynamic action in the now. You are who you are depending on your preparation, the prerequisites, the limitations, how well you've been quality controlled in your training, your courage, your terrors and fears that paralyze the will, paralyze action. How tough your will is it cauterized in a hot crucible, and so on and so forth. All that taken together equals your luck, equals your chances. And when someone says, luck favors the prepared man, that's an oversimplistic statement. It sounds profound, it says nothing. Predicated on everything I've been saying prior to this. But the bottom line is, don't let anything be an excuse. Everything has to be tested out, tried. Don't ask me how, because as an individual Dasai in human reality, each one is a dwarf in height, a throw in their beingness. And you have to create who you are, what your possibilities, potentials. It's only in potential. It doesn't become reality until you go in the arena and see if that shit will float in the Bronx. In action, under powerful resistance. You have to seek out the most powerful resistance possible to test your mettle. Not once, but over and over again. It's not done once and you own it and it's there for all time. It's a quality, character quality that has to be won again and again in the arena that presents severe and terrible consequences and instant feedback that tells you then who you are, who you really are, holds the mirror, the Knights of the Mirror, Don Quixote, that tell Quixote in the daylight, that mirror back to Quixote from all directions his behavior, what he looks like, his actions as observed by the 12 Knights of the Mirror, who are ruthless, prosecutory in their observations of Quixote, and they're hell-bent to tell him what he is. Despite his protestations, his fantasies, his delusions of grandeur, they tell him what he is. Now, Quixote, I'm going to tell you what I see. Who are you, Quixote? I am Don Quixote, Lord of La Mancha. And the Knights of the Mirror says, no, Quixote, I am Lord of the Mirrors. And I see you as you really are, Quixote, not as you dream you are. Not as the foolish, senile old man you're trying to sell, running around with a wooden sword and a ridiculous sidekick called Pancho Sanchez, who you rationalize off of, who encourages you, you're a foolish old man on a ridiculous quest. This is what I see, Quixote. Defend yourself, Quixote! If you are, prove it. I'm going to say prove it. To whatever you claim about yourself. You said you were I am Don Quixote, the Lord of La Mancha. I say to you, I am the Lord of the Mirrors. And I say, Quixote, prove it. I'm going to make you prove it. I'm going to make you put up or shut up. I'm going to show you who you are. Till there's no doubt. And the true grit, the true measure of the man is to be willing to be revealed to himself in that way and stand good for it. In the naked light of day with the Lord of the Mirrors, with no place to run, no place to hide, completely observed.